It's just Fallout 76.
So yeah, Destiny 3 No Man's Skyrim, as I'll be calling it from now on, basically has the same base building system as Fallout 76 does, with some additions, which to be honest makes sense because both Starfield and 76 were worked on in tandem over the past couple of years. But as you know, I love doing my research, so over the past couple of days I've ventured out across the internet to gather up every tiny piece of information I could find. Then I've thrown them into my mixing bowl of magic, added in several herbs and spices, coated it all in a delectably smooth batter, sprinkled over the most whole grain of breadcrumbs, and dropped it into the sizzling deep fryer that is my brain to bring you the succulent and tender deep fried chicken that is this video. And there's only one place to begin. Let's start with the basics. The basics being this flowchart I have in my research that I was able to piece together from watching the video several times over. So, we start at the beginning with a outpost beacon, that being the little ball with the radio antenna on it. From there, the beacon gives us a radius for building, but it also does a little bit of scanning, as I was able to kind of spot out a little bit. So that will most likely tell us if there are resources in the area, because Bethesda were a little bit sneaky and hid a resource extractor in the background of one of the videos. And it will probably give us some other stuff as well, maybe oxygen or whatever. It'll tell us what's in our building area. From there, we will be able to then solidify what we have as a building area. So of course you can move your little beacon around like you can with the Fallout 76 camp. So you move it around to where you want, the radius tells you what's in it, and then from there you place your beacon down, solidifying your building area, and then from there, using the what looks like probably the best building mechanic I've seen with the snapping radial menu, we will then be able to place down our prefabs. Now I don't think there will be any floor, wall, roof structures. There might be, I don't know. They've only shown off one tab at the minute. But from the prefab stuff, we will also be able to place down things like power or our extractors, which they hid in the background of the video, and all that other kind of stuff. That is your basic flowchart to setting up your outpost. You go from the beacon showing us where we can build, the beacon telling us what's in our build radius, then us placing the beacon down, solidifying our build area, through to us putting down our prefabs and also our things like power and extractors. You got it? Cool. Because with that out of the way, let's take a look at the structures in a bit more detail, shall we? In the Xbox Showcase, we got a quick glance at some of the basic structures we will be able to build in Starfield, those being hydroponics all the way through to military structures, and even resource extractors, which I'm not going to let go because they sneakily hid it in the background. It does look as if there's going to be several different types and styles for the structures we can build, because you'll notice that in the showcase there is a 1 out of 2 label under some of the buildable modules, which could mean different things such as different shapes, sizes, or styles. Personally, I would love different sizes and different styles. I don't really mind about shapes. When it comes to space, you tend to have 2 shapes, a cylinder and a square, so I'm perfectly fine with that. I would love like maybe a 2-tier hydroponics or a 2-tier bunk system for the crew that you can hire, and definitely different styles, like maybe a different company produces a different look, like maybe a darker one, or maybe a rustic thing, or maybe more of a military-esque kind of stuff like that. Now, of course, we've only seen one tab out of everything that we can build, so the rest is speculation. But taking from both Fallout 4 and Fallout 76, because we're not idiots, we will most likely have a power tab with a selection of ways to power our outpost. We've already seen the wind generators. A defense tab with turrets or traps that could possibly be used to defend our outpost if there are in-game attacks. We've seen that there is a watchtower, so there might be something that goes along with that. And there will most likely be a miscellaneous or utility tab that will cover things from decorations, a landing pad for our ship, and, to be honest, only Todd knows what. All that being said, let's take a quick gander at the new systems that we have to manage in our outpost, because who doesn't love managing outpost systems? Like I said, in the bottom right of the screen during the showcase, we can see that we have cargo, crew, power, and production, which is given in minutes, that indicates to one of the new features we will have over the 76 building system. Thanks to the production markers in the lower right of the screen, it's safe to say we shall have a few ways to manufacture stuff in Starfield, most likely utilising our hireable crew. Pretty obvious that our buildings like hydroponics or the science lab will use the resources that we extract because, as they say on their Twitter, conduct research and craft weapons and spacesuits mods, which obviously means that the specific modules we place will have an effect on our ability to craft these mods and do research. Also, just a little thing, the perks we can choose will probably also affect the stuff that we can build. And there is a little bit of a glimpse at the crafting menu, but if you think about it, what's the point in putting down a science lab if it's not going to give you some sort of buff towards your research speed, or a hydroponics maybe will give you a buff to your being able to, I don't know, feed your crew and keep them happy or something like that. It could also be possible that we could take mined resources and sell them, as there is a cargo indicator, and apart from storing our extracted items in cargo containers, I don't think there is much else we could do to store unless it turns out we can in fact manufacture weapons or other items to sell, because, and this is something that I picked up in one of the interviews, as a player we get to decide what kind of story we want to unfold. Now, with all that out of the way, it's speculation time, and I have to thank Tonic for actually helping me with some of this stuff, because if you go back through the video, you'll see a few little things, and one of them is a trait that says we have a player home on a moon with a mortgage of 50,000 credits. Now, I don't know if that means that at the beginning of the game we get a free outpost, or if we actually have player-based homes, because there is the shiny futuristic city of New Atlas, or Atlantis, I believe it was called. So it's possible that, taken from previous, like the Elder Scrolls games, we have a player home, which would be cool, because the outposts we put on planets, so it'd be nice to have a player home that we could call home on the starting world, or a faction world if there's factions in the game. But it would be nice, play a home. We get the perk that gives us one for free. That'd be kind of funny, but we have to pay off that mortgage, which I'm down for, because that would be hilarious. But it's kind of a weird thing if you look into some of the perks that there are. And he also wanted to mention that there might be a defendable thing, kind of touching on the Watchtower stuff, from the pirates that are in the game and maybe the wildlife. And he did tell me that when he gets his hands on the game, he wants to find the most inhospitable planet that exists and basically build his camp there and see how long he can survive, because he's a muppet. Tonic's a bit of a weird thing. Now, the player home thing, I hope there are buyable player homes on different planets that are main planets, where there will be hub things. We've seen Atlantis. There is that seedy kind of Blade Runner-esque planet with all the neon in the city, just as a thing. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, player homes, that'd be a kind of fun thing. As for the defensive thing, when it comes to defending your outposts from pirates or the wildlife, I'd like to see that too. We had that in Fallout 4, where if your defense was lower than what was needed for the area, it would get attacked, and then obviously once you get it above that, it would be attacked randomly. It's kind of the same thing now on 76. Normally when you log into your camp, eventually some ghouls or something are going to come and attack your camp. Same thing with when you go and get a public workshop, you have to defend that. So that would be kind of cool. But to be honest, on that's the only real speculative stuff that I want to cover, because that's camp building kind of stuff, outpost building stuff. I'm waiting for more stuff to come out. There was an interview with Pete Hines, but they did not touch on anything for the base building stuff, which, if you think about it, thanks to Fallout 4 and 76, base building is now a massive thing inside of the Bethesda games. So I hope they put out a video which shows off more of the base building stuff, because there are tabs. It showed the left bumper and the right bumper, so there's more tabs on that building thing that I want to know about. But until then, I'm not going to do much else. I will probably cover the ship building stuff, because they've mentioned some more stuff on that, and I do love me a spaceship. But for the base building stuff, that's all I've got for you right now. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you've got anything you want to mention or anything that I maybe didn't cover that you know about, or anything that I did cover that you might want to know about, what you might want to know more about. Can't speak today. Or if there's any speculation you want to just cover with me, description will have a link to the videos, but in the comment section, come and talk to me about this kind of stuff. It's a lot of fun to speculate on games. I did it for 76 way back, which was fun. But yeah, come talk to me about it in the comments. But apart from that, you guys know the drill. Like, share, and subscribe. And until the next time, stay awesome.